It's cool to see all the speculation online about the possible plot of Metroid Prime 4 and the potential plan of Sylux. With him teaming up with the space pirates and cloning that Metroid he stole during Federation Force, the story can take a number of directions. Of course, a basic plan could be that he's just cloning an army of Metroids to take over the galaxy. A classic space pirate plan, but that feels too simplistic for the character of Sylux. Sylux has been seemingly plotting in the background of these Prime games for a while, so I'd expect him to have something dastardly planned up his sleeve. And what could be more dastardly than reviving the entity that not only threatened the galaxy with its very existence, but was also responsible for nearly defeating Samus multiple times? That's right, I think Sylux is gonna revive the Metroid Prime, and that's gonna be the plot of Metroid Prime 4. But before I explain, remember to subscribe if you like Metroid content, and post your thoughts about this idea in the comment section below, or even your own ideas about what Sylux's plan could be in this game. But whatever you feel, type it in the comment section below. And so let's get started. Now, to some fans, I know the idea of the Metroid Prime returning just seems insane, but I do want to go over my reasoning for why I believe that this is possible. For starters, the title of the game, it's Metroid Prime 4, a mainline Metroid Prime game. Not including the spin-offs, the core Prime games had always had the Metroid Prime as the main antagonist in these games. Prime 1 had the Metroid Prime as the main threat, and even though it was defeated at the end of that game, its essence still lived on and took on the form of Dark Samus for the next two games. The core Prime games have always been the story of Dark Samus, and its goal of spreading Phisheyy throughout the galaxy. So I think it stands to reason that the next Prime game would continue on that story. And we've seen in the first two Prime games that even though we think we defeated the Metroid Prime once and for all, it somehow comes back from the brink of destruction. So I don't think it's too unbelievable to think that it will somehow return again for the third time. But yes, I know the reasoning isn't really the strongest. It's more than likely called Prime 4 just because of the gameplay style, just like how Prime Hunters and Prime Federation Force had Prime to let people know that it's a first-person shooter, like their mainline Prime games. But I do have more to talk about. The main idea is that I think Sylux will be reviving the Metroid Prime, and on the surface, I think it makes sense for why Sylux would want to revive the Metroid Prime. We don't really know much about Sylux, just that he hates the Galactic Federation and Samus. And if he's been planning his revenge in the background of these Prime games, then he is likely aware of how close Dark Samus, aka the Metroid Prime, was with taking over the galaxy and defeating Samus. Ultimately, Samus was able to defeat Dark Samus, but maybe with enough planning, prep time, or help from Sylux himself, Dark Samus could have been successful in defeating Samus and destroying the Galactic Federation. With the potential defeating Sylux's two most hated enemies, I can see why Sylux would want to revive Dark Samus as a potential ally or asset. Now, of course, Dark Samus as a character isn't really the most trustworthy, I could say. And even though reviving Dark Samus probably won't go the way Sylux wants, more than likely Dark Samus would just want to do its own thing, seek out its own goals in its own way. Just reviving it could be enough to weaken the Galactic Federation, distract Samus, and have an opening for him to execute his plan while everything is going in chaos. And if that's the case, this is ultimately just a scenario of the enemy of my enemy is my ally. So I can definitely see the potential why Sylux would want to revive the Metroid Prime, if it means the potential destruction of the Galactic Federation and the defeat of Samus. But I'm pretty sure a question most of you are asking now is how would Sylux revive the Metroid Prime? It genuinely seems that in the end of Metroid Prime 3 that Dark Samus has been defeated once and for all. Planet Phase has been destroyed, all of Phazon has been purged, and there's no hints of Dark Samus surviving, unlike Metroid Prime 1 and 2. So to many, the Metroid Prime returning would just kind of be like another situation of somehow Palpatine returns and seem a little contrived. Well, for starters, there's a possibility out there that there's still somehow Phazon in the galaxy. I made this theory like a long time ago, but a simple recap would be just that we don't know if there's more than one planet Phase out there. From what we're told in datalog entries from Metroid Prime 3, when a planet's hit by a Leviathan seed, it would convert itself slowly into another version of planet Phase. And it seems unlikely that for the thousands or so years that Phazon has existed, that only a small handful of planets have been hit by Leviathan seeds. There has to be another planet that we're not aware of that got hit by a Leviathan seed and started becoming its own version of planet Phase. And even though the planet Phase that we destroyed in Prime 3 destroyed and purged all sources of Phazon connected to that specific planet, there has to be a planet maybe older than planet Phase or another version of planet Phase out there that wouldn't be affected by the purge because it could sustain its own source of Phazon. So I do feel like that's a possibility. If not that, there could be a chance that Sylux came across some Phazon Phazon, took a sample of it, and studied it so he can reproduce or replicate this source of Phazon. With him having his own source of Phazon, all he has to do is mix that Phazon up with the Metroid he captured at the end of Federation Force, and hope that he makes a Metroid Prime. Even though in Metroid Prime 1 it seems like the Metroid Prime was a unique mutation that can't really be replicated, with how specific the situation was around its creation, we do see in Metroid Prime 3 that there were multiple Metroid Prime husks out there. So with enough research and experiments, it is possible to recreate the Metroid Prime. Although I do think there's a possibility that Sylux won't just settle for the Metroid Prime. As stated before, the Metroid Prime / Dark Samus was pretty close in defeating Samus, but it just wasn't enough to ultimately defeat her. So what are the chances that Sylux would want the Metroid Prime to go further beyond its mutation? Just like how the title of the game suggests, there could be a possibility that Sylux would want a Metroid Prime to go a level beyond the Metroid Prime mutation to finally and ultimately defeat Samus and destroy the Galactic Federation so that Sylux can get the revenge that he's always wanted. But of course, I want to know what you guys think. I know the idea could be a little far-fetched here and there. It'd be cool to have the Metroid Prime return, but the idea of bringing back Phazon or bringing back an antagonist we thought was defeated with no signs coming back kind of brings back Palpatine return kind of vibes. But if it's written well and hopefully explained well with future data logs that we get to scan in the game that allude and hint to this potential plotline, then I think it could be pretty cool. The idea of Sylux being so bent on revenge that he unleashes an evil on the galaxy that goes beyond the power of its previous incarnation just for revenge just seems like a cool storyline. And of course, I like Dark Samus a lot, so any chance of it coming back would be pretty cool. And ultimately, if this is the case, I do hope they explain what that Genesis Chamber was in Prime 3. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I like to hear what you guys' opinions are about his possible plan, what you feel about this idea of Dark Samus coming back through Sylux reviving it. And if you want to expand on this idea, I'd like to hear in the comment section below. If you want more Metroid content, feel free to click on the video above. It's a video where I talk about why Sylux could be potentially using mock droids as opposed to the standard Metroid variants. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you like Metroid content, like this video, share it amongst all your friends, and stick around for next time because I'll be seeing you later.